In this video, we're going to be unpacking the questions that every single independent music artist is asking. Stay tuned if you want to find out how you can promote your music properly. It doesn't really seem fair, does it? As an independent music artist, you're expected to produce amazing content, which tends to cost you lots of money to do. And then to reach an audience, you have to pay more money to promote it. And what do you get at the end of that? You get a fraction of a penny per stream. It doesn't make sense. The odds are stacked against you as an independent music artist. However, there are ways to engage and expand your audience. In this video, we're going to explore some of those ways, but just because it's worked for someone in the past, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you in the future. And you can't rely on one thing. A lot of online courses will tell you if you just do this technique and this process, everything will come together. By the time that course has been created, it's quite possibly gone out of date. So we're going to be looking at some tactics and techniques, but we're also going to be looking at some evergreen strategy. When it comes to evergreen strategy, these things won't go out of date. These are ideas and approaches that will be as fresh tomorrow as they were yesterday. So here's the evergreen approach that you should use when it comes to promoting your music. Start by detailing your plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Then you need to make sure that you have processes for all of your key activities. You need a process and a checklist and the right tools for the job when it comes to your release marketing, when it comes to your funnel building, when it comes to your email sequences. It's so important to get automated systems in place that work for you whilst you're asleep. Then you need to have the product. It's no good just sharing content and hoping people find their way to the till to buy tickets for your show. You need to coordinate things so you're sharing content that then points people towards the products and the services and the experiences and the subscriptions. And then you need partners, because if you're doing everything yourself, you're going to run out of time, you're going to run out of money, you're not going to have the expertise to open up all the different opportunities and markets. And once you have partners on board, they can help you to promote your music much more effectively. At that point, once you have the plan, the process, the product, the partners, you're going to reach platform much quicker. It's going to be a lot less expensive. It's going to be a lot less painful than if you just jump in the deep end and hope that you can make enough noise to get people's attention and get people engaged. Before we go any further, I do want to acknowledge that some artists break all of the rules but end up landing on their feet. They don't have a plan, they don't have processes, they don't have a product beyond their content, they don't have partners, but somewhere along the line, one of their promotional activities has led to them having a massive platform. Now, of course, some people do get lucky, but for every person who's reached the summit and stays there through no process, through no plan, just through sheer talent and luck, I can find you a dozen artists who had a following. They had people connecting with them through MySpace, through their Facebook page. Maybe they had a massive YouTube audience. And then a few years down the line, the algorithms have screwed them over. The audience has gone elsewhere. They didn't collect people's email addresses. They got dropped by the label. Things didn't work out. If you have the infrastructure in place with the plan, process, product, partners, you're much more likely to stay at the top when you reach the summit. So here are some quick fire ways for you to promote your music. Firstly, you could produce an EPK. An EPK stands for an electronic press kit. My favorite format for an EPK is usually a 2-pager. On the first page, you have an informative biography. It needs to have facts, figures, information about you. It needs to cover all of the angles. It needs a big picture, perhaps a quote from the best known person who loves your music. On the second page, you want to have a creative description with sumptuous language that describes your music, something written from a different perspective to the biography, which is informative. Thirdly, you need to have a short interview. Post some questions that you can answer yourself. This is really good because then the person receiving the EPK gets a sense of what you might say. They can even lift those quotes from you and put them into their publication. Secondly, sell your story. Promoting new music isn't easy. Artist releases new song is never going to be headline news, even in your local paper, unless you're Adele or Paul McCartney. So you need to connect with people's hearts and minds through a compelling story that they're going to remember. A story can lead new listeners into the song and into your audience. Thirdly, I'd like to encourage you to gather people together. This can happen through an event, a tour, and it can happen online. Content is not the end destination for everyone. Of course, some people stop at the crowd level. They just want to experience content from a distance, but others will want to step into the community. If you can gather people together, if you can do something interactive, if you can create community, you're going to find people buying into what you do as an artist. You're going to get people coming along who'll bring their friends, and that is the ultimate aim. Fourthly, I want to encourage you to make your marketing memorable. A lot of artists shout about their new releases. They bore people to tears with reminders. Now, it's good to be consistent, but you also need to be creative with your communication. Look at how marketing agencies represent big brands. Often they have to do adverts that are left of center, quite quirky and innovative. It helps people to engage with the product. For example, we have a crowdfunding platform, and a lot of people find the idea of raising money quite difficult and quite boring. So we wanted to inject some fun into funding, and that's why we developed Archie the Astronaut. Make your marketing memorable. The fifth and final thing to do is try out the trends. You'll see other artists and influencers absolutely smashing it on social media, and perhaps they've found a formula that works, and you might be able to use that formula as well. You can be inspired by the posts that they put up. You can even emulate some of the content that they create. Perhaps they're doing a parody in a certain style, and you can do that with your own spin on it. Of course, don't steal, don't plagiarize, don't come to me if you get any trouble with lawyers, solicitors, and lawsuits. But try out the trends. Just give it a go. The worst thing that can happen is people laugh, point, jeer, and remind you that you don't have any hair. But you can always delete the post. You can always delete the profile. Try out the trends, give it a go. There are so many methods when it comes to marketing new music. You can be forgiven for feeling overwhelmed and confused. But if you are someone who benefit from some hands-on help, structure, strategy, support, I'd like to invite you to take a look at the marketing map. In the link in the description below, you can find out about our 7-step process with the marketing map. It's a framework that we teach, it's a process that you can adopt, and it's a service that we deliver. It makes sense of the madness. We'll help you to get things in order so that you can see your audience expand.